You've tuned into The Mountain Gardener with your host, Ken Lain. Gardening, it can be challenging, but with these simple insider tips, you'll reap huge rewards. Now, let's tune into today's Mountain Gardener with Ken and Lisa. We have a new plant drop, so you can pre-order or reserve the different varieties of lavenders. We've got alliums, a new variety of Russian sage that's available. They're on their way. They're en route. They're just about finished at the farm, but we thought, oh, we'll let people see what they are, and they can pre-order theirs, put their name on it. When they arrive, we'll just let them know, hey, they're here. Come pick them up. Part of that, if you're part of our garden club, this is how retail can be very personal. So we're trying to get very individual customer gardener here at Waters Garden Center. And so we created this. You're part of our club. We know who you are. We know what you like. We know what you bought. We know what your gardening is. We might even have conversations amongst the sales folks. So no, they got privacy issues, or they like herbs, or they're growing this kind of heirloom tomato. So part of the lavender thing, when we create this lavender drop, I created two handouts to go with, just for those folks that are buying lavenders, because I know you folks that grow herbs, you're unique, you're different. You like fragrance and beauty and butterflies, and you like potpourris and cooking and all these other things. So I created a lavender success kit. That is, here's how you plant a lavender so it thrives. And here's the products you'll need to put them in the ground and have them just grow like crazy. Here's how you do it in the ground, and here's what you need if you put them in containers. And so when you come to pick your lavender up, we'll give you the success kit going, here you go. Don't just come get a plant. We're not selling plants. We're selling garden experiences here at Waters. So truly, we believe this at the very heart of our soul. We are not a plant shop. We are a garden love shop, an experience, and fragrance shop, and beauty and style and color. We're that shop. We're a glass of fine wine, a cup of coffee in the morning, just enjoying the fragrance and the beauty. That's what we're creating. And when you are not successful, that's like torture. You might as well put a gardener in the bowels of hell, because that's what it's like forever in eternity. You get to watch plants die. That is not what we are all about. We are about success and beauty and fragrance and just successes. And if we can't help you be better with your plants, we failed. I mean, we failed as a family. We failed as a crew, as horticulturalists, as an independent garden center. We're growing finer plants. We go out of our way to get the right plants at the right time for the gardens here. We make sure they never get stressed. And part of that process is letting you have first dibs, so pre-orders, then making sure before you come in to get it, you get to, you know exactly how to plant that thing so you've got success, or at least the success rate doubles. You don't have to learn by making mistakes. We got most of that figured out for you. We've done the mistakes. Here's what we found out. This will help you. So we got that going out. So a lavender success kit. In addition, we've programmed, I wrote another one. I want to go over, that's this segment for you. I wrote a Lush lavender secrets. How do you keep a lavender blooming? And so we've got the computer. I mean, these databases are tracking. Oh, we know they bought a lavender. We know they're part of our club, so they want garden content. They want to be successful. So we've got a program. 2 weeks after you bought it, it comes back and it sends you this Lush lavender secrets. Here's how you keep them blooming. And I wanted to go over that with you, because if you've got lavenders in your yard already, whether you bought one from us, pre-ordered, or you've had it in the yard for 10 years, matters not. I want you to be successful. You'll have more fragrance, more beauty, more butterflies, more blooms, and there are secrets to it. And here's what I've learned. Number one, lavenders really, really benefit from being deadheaded, or those spent flowers as they bloom. They've been in bloom for a month. And so, but it will come down to, they'll start pulsating, new flowers will start coming up below the original flush of flowers, and then the original flush will start to fade. What you do is you track that flower stem back down to the foliage, and you snip it off with a pair of pliers, pruners, scissors. I use my knife often, just my pocket knife works. Anything. It's a very fine flower stem. Doesn't take much, especially if you're catching it while it's still vibrant and green, but the flower has faded. Just follow that stem back, not all the way back to the ground, but until you start seeing leaves. Then just nip it off. So probably about once a week, every 2 weeks. You want to clean up all your lavenders, and it doesn't matter the varieties. Remember earlier I mentioned the 5 types of lavenders: English, the sweet, the Spanish, the French, and the fern leaf. So these are 5 different varieties. They all grow here. They're all treated the same way. So you trace back that spent flower, cut it off as close to the foliage as you can. Otherwise, you'll get these dead stems that are sticking up. Looks kind of funky. You don't want that. You just want to get past below, down towards the foliage. And what you'll find is you'll start to see already new flowers coming back up. And so you're trying to prevent the lilac from focusing on seed. You want them focused on new flowers. So what will happen is they'll shift gears. Most perennials especially will do this. They'll start blooming their hearts out. They've been pollinated by the bees and butterflies. The hummingbirds are just about done with these guys. They start to set seed and they go, okay, stop blooming. Start just focusing on seed. They put all their energy into seeds. They stop blooming. And so if you take that old flower off and the seed production, the plant actually it freaks out. It goes, oh my gosh, I'm not going to reproduce. I better make sure I put more flowers out so I can possibly create seed. They're trying to replicate and spread across the yard. You're trying to keep them in bloom all the time. Well, you do that is just take that old flower off. They call it pinching or deadheading flowers. And that's how you do it. It works for a lot of different plants, echinacеas, coneflowers, gaillardia, but especially lilacs. They really benefit from this. You can keep them going. Otherwise, they'll have less color. They won't bloom as long. They won't bloom as long into the fall of the season. You can easily get another 2 to 3 months of blooms on your lilacs just with that one technique. In addition, so you need to fertilize to put that much flower into reproducing flowers over and over and over. It takes a lot of energy. The plants can't just live off your water, which is terrible, in your clay soil, which is terrible, surrounded by caliche, which is terrible. It's going to need some help from you. We call this gardening. And so you get a bottle of Flower Power, greatest lavender food ever. And so it's a water soluble. So it's got a little scoop in there. Take your watering can, and then you take a scoop for every gallon. You take a scoop, put it in your can, top it off with water. The mistake I find people make with water-soluble foods or Flower Power is they take a scoop, they chuck it on the ground, and they just hose it in right there. At least, for the love of gardening, at least get a 5-gallon pail, something. Don't just chuck it on the ground and water it. You can do damage that way. You want to dilute it in a gallon of water first, even a gallon jug. You know what? You're gardening. You need to get a good tool called a watering can. They're cheap. You need 2 of them, one for each hand, because they get heavy, you get lopsided. I can mix up 2 at a time, and I just go water my plants a couple times a month, every 2 weeks. I just take my plants, and they just are blooming their heads off because they love the Flower Power. What that is the middle number. It is 48% phosphorus. That middle number, 48%, that's what causes blooms. And it's in a water-soluble form. So as soon as you water that plant in, that plant can take that up just immediately and start making flowers like right now. I mean, it works for all flowering things, but it really works for lavenders. I mean, I put it on my tomatoes, my petunias, calibrachoas, lantanas, all my blooming stuff. Every 2 weeks, I give it this Flower Power. But it really makes the fragrance and the richness of the color of your lavenders robust. I mean, it's a game changer. So deadhead and fertilize every 2 weeks is the go-to. That's how you get them to really bloom. If you really want help with that, come ask me. Look for that. I guess, no, I'm not going to publish this. This is just made for folks to pre-order the lavenders we're putting out now. So, but you'll see. But you know what? I'll program it for anyone that buys a lavender. 2 weeks later, they get this Lush Lavender Secrets and how to get your flowers to keep blooming. I think that sounds pretty good.
Water's Garden companion plants for July are hibiscus, maple, verbena, and crepe myrtle.
Crepe myrtle flowers are intense watermelon pink, solar reds, and LED whites that cover this heat-loving shrub.
plant where you enjoy its beautiful multicolored bark and sinuous branches up close.
The flowers show against forest green foliage that turns red and orange in autumn.
Growing to just head height, every yard has room for at least one, and only available for summer planting here at Waters Garden Center in Prescott.
For a more fruitful garden, increased success in the landscape that just feels better, then tune in daily to the Mountain Gardener podcast. Subscribe through your favorite podcast streamer or visit watersgardencenter.com. Better yet, visit me directly right here at Waters Garden Center. Thanks for tuning in.